Hi guys, my name is Gokor Mbarian. I am a black belt under Gokor Chivichyan in Hayastan MMA, and this instructional is going to be what my interpretation of leg locks are. In part 1, we're going to cover the 6 fundamental positions of leg locks. Part 2, we're going to cover each position going forward. So we're going to build a whole system for you guys and show you guys some of what we've been working on. My uki for today is going to be my student Kevin Sepulveda. I hope you guys enjoy. So for the first part of our instructional, we want to cover the 6 fundamental positions of leg locks. The inside and outside ashi with the knee in the middle, the inside and outside triangles such as the senkaku or the leg lace, sambo knot, everybody has a different name for it, the 50-50 and the double outside ashigarami. In my opinion, 85 to 90% of all leg locks occur in these 6 positions. You do have a couple of exceptions, such as toe holds. People land it while passing guard, like a free-flowing toe hold. You do also have knee compressions and calf slicers and whatnot. We're going to be focused primarily on these 6 specific spots and different transitions between the two. The one thing I really want to put across is when we get into one of these 6 entanglements, a big problem that we've seen throughout the years in leg locking has been you see a guy that gets into position, the opponent escapes position 1, and they abandon it completely. For the first part, the thing that I want to stress most is the connection between them. So my inside ashigarami goes into a inside senkaku, which goes into an outside senkaku, 50-50, blah, 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 blah. The most important thing for me to show today is the transitions in between and a progressive system going forward. Once we enter in a knee in the middle ashigarami, like I said, always will equal outside senkaku, or outside senkaku can always equal outside ashigarami. Here's a simple example. We start with our knee in the middle ashi, transfer the knee to the inside, fall to our left hip, inside senkaku. The cloverleaf, which is a version of the inside senkaku. Our opponent pulls his bottom knee out. Ashi. Leg lace on the other side with the knee on the outside. And finish. Same thing applies for 50-50. 50-50. Double outside ashigarami. From here, simple transition. To inside senkaku. In this DVD, there's going to be a, like I said, progressive system going forward. What it is your job as the viewer to understand is once we enter on one leg lock or one exchange, to find the transition to follow through. If we go and show every single transition possible, this leg lock instruction will be about 24 hours long. And I don't think any of you guys want to watch it that long. Now, we're also going to approach the 3 fundamental grips for the main attack in this series, which is the heel hook. We also do show quite a bit of knee bars and stuff. Those will be progressive again in the system. Now, the 3 main grips that I personally like for heel hooks: the short grip, which is the traditional one, the deep grip, and the cross grip. They each have their place and they each have their purpose, and they're all different. So, for example, the most basic one would be just a short grip. What I do is I take the blade of my wrist right under his heel, my armpit over his toes. I get a gable grip. Some people like to do this with an S grip, whatever, and I completely just twist and hip in. The next one is the deep grip, where I go all the way through to my bicep and give it a nice tight hug, and again work it from here. The final one, which is the most devastating in my opinion, is the cross, and I hug right here on my wrist. So my right hand comes all the way across, controls the heel, grabs my wrist. I'm going to give you a couple of different examples of each, and you guys will be able to see what we're working on. So, for example, if I fall into a traditional ashi here, and I am completely on my right hip, I might actually go for a short heel hook. If I fall flat on my back
this is another situation where I might have to go deep grip or cross grip. In a situation as such, I prefer to go to a deep grip. I explain why. When I go on my right hip here, the turn is already taking me this way. It's extremely difficult for me to get good control of my bicep. He might slip, okay? Whereas if I go short, the pin is much tighter and the slippage is going to be at a minimum. When I'm flat on my back here, it might be difficult for me to go to a cross grip because now his toes are sliding out. So in a situation as such, I'm going to go bicep to bicep and make sure I pin his toes in my armpit while I work the heel. And in the final situation, if we were to go belly down, and Kevin does a good job of hiding his heel, I might have to go across grip, go under, and work from right there. Those are 3 fundamental gripping sequences that I really like, and 3 different positions to work them in. I'm not saying those are the end all be all as far as me falling here and only being able to do 1 grip. A lot of it has to do with body mechanics and body type, but those are the 3 fundamental grips for you guys. So the next thing I want to explore in this beginning part is different grip breaks and different ways to open up the legs in your entanglements. We've already established the 6 fundamental positions. We've already shown a couple transitions from position to position. What is also going to end up happening quite regularly is maybe I enter in some sort of leg lock. Let's just go 50-50 for example, and our opponent crosses his ankles and does a good job of defending here. And now it's my job to open. A couple of these fundamental grip breaks apply in almost every position. For example, if Kevin goes foot on foot here, the easiest way to break the lock is to meet him straight through the middle. If he goes triangle, the approach straight through the middle might not work. Reason being, here, his gap is behind me. Whereas if he goes foot on foot, the gap is right through the middle. So this same approach can be worked on from the inside leg lace. For example, Kevin goes foot on foot, the gap is through the middle. I meet him with my elbow, slide, and I open. But if Kevin were to figure 4 his legs, now the same approach won't work. Now I have to come and catch the foot, create the angle, and open for my attack. Again from 50-50. Okay, let's do the other side. Actually. Okay. Figure 4 your legs over here. Okay. Elbow won't work. Now we have to open from the back. I take his foot, point it inward, and now the gap has opened for me to attack. Go ahead, lock again. Figure 4. My right hand comes to the outside of his foot, or I come right and grab his toes, whatever you prefer. And now I pass his knee inward. I don't push, I always bend. Now I have heel exposure. Now I can attack his leg, whether it be straight ankle locks or heel hooks. The final part I would like to show in this beginning series is the establishment of pinning the hips, leading to one specific attack that we work quite a bit in this series, which is the inverted heel hook. Okay, so for example, I'm going to start in a knee in the middle ashigarami, right here. Always keep tight hips. Get up on your knee, please. And now a big transition that you'll see in this instructional is I take both knees to the outside, turn towards the knee, and now again another version of transitioning into leg locks. I went from a knee in the middle ashigarami right here to a double outside ashigarami to an inversion to an inside leg lace or inside sincock.